Happy watching!
Hey, this is Chetna and you're watching ChetChat, the largest online career and education talk show. And this is ChetChat's masterclass on how to study when you're not motivated. Okay, I'll begin by accepting that I too face motivation issues. Now, I should be sometimes preparing a video, researching, talking to people, and preparing my script. And instead, I find myself online replying to your messages or just on a photo editor app or simply browsing. And there are days when I stress about just how much work there is pending. And on those days, I seem to get nothing accomplished. So in this masterclass, we're going to talk about the top 5 problems that come in the way of your motivation when you want to study. Okay, so before we begin, press that subscribe button and the bell icon right next to it. And also give us a thumbs up if you like our work. And check out my new blog. Yay, I'm really excited about it and I want you to go there, take a look at it and tell me if you like it. Now, problem number 1. There's so much to do. You have 250 questions in your question bank. You have about 300 words to learn. You have this long 1000-page analysis to write and you don't know where to begin. Now, there are some scientifically proven techniques that you can use to overcome this challenge. Technique number 1 is called Salami slices. In our previous video where we gave you this timetable which you could follow just before your exams, we spoke about how you need to eat that frog the first thing in the morning. And the frog in this case was your most important and challenging task. Now imagine if you were eating that frog in one go. You would choke on it. So the smarter thing to do is to cut it up into little salami slices. Now I've given you an example here of how to break up a task of writing a 1000-word poetry analysis. You can use this example to suit your requirements and adjust it. But one tip that I want to give you is that the thinner the slice that you cut, the more easy it is for you to eat it. And especially for creative tasks, this is a great technique because it gives the brain time to process and your answers tend to be more creative and interesting. However, the flip side is that you need to get to the task fairly early. Technique number 2 to overcome the first big problem of having too much to do is called the Swiss cheese approach. It's a good technique for busy days. Let's say you've got 500 words to learn for your SAT exam, or you've got to come on top of all the current affairs before your CLAT exam. Now, instead of leaving all of that for you to do at a later date, how about you learn a few words every day or grab the top 5 headlines every day? Now, this way, you'll drill holes into that big chunk of Swiss cheese, and before you know it, half the task is already over. Problem number 2 is, how does it matter? क्या फर्क पड़ता है? The root of all demotivation is the feeling that our goals are not close to our hearts. I know some of you want to be an engineer or a lawyer, or some of you want a scholarship. But the challenge is that these goals don't connect deeply enough with us. And therefore, sometimes we wonder that we're putting in all this effort and what is the whole long-term impact of this? So the trick for us is to find a goal or a purpose that is larger than ourselves. Now, how do we do that? At the first level are typically goals relating to your job, your salary, your position, etc. At level number 2 come goals which are related to the family. You feel as though you're doing something for your family. And at level number 3, your goal is to do something for the larger community. It could even extend to the global community. And each time you cross the next level, you become more resilient, more passionate, more motivated and more deeply satisfied as well. To share a little bit about my life, I have this video that I've decided to upload for you every single Friday. Now that means that every week I should be researching, I should be talking to people, I should be shooting, editing, preparing scripts and doing all the post-production work. And there are many times when I sit back and I say, how does it matter? who's actually going to bother whether I put up that video on that Friday or not? And I sometimes wonder whether you're really watching those videos at all. However, I do this with a deep passion. For me, I want each one of you to get authentic career advice, and you should not have to rely on any agents that mislead you or any of that. So I want to reach out to each and every student in the whole world, and that goal motivates me to put up that video every single Friday. In fact, my family and friends often make fun of me by saying that one day they're going to write a book about the life of a YouTuber and how I tend to be so single-minded about my work. Problem number 3 is depression. Feeling worthless, feeling that you're not capable of doing anything, and also that every single one of your friends is getting ahead of you and you just don't seem to be making progress. We have lack of self-belief and lack of self-confidence. Now, this could be the most severe of all problems, especially during your student years. I did a video some time back on my own journey with depression and some solutions on how to overcome it. But here I want to give you just 2 quick solutions. The first one is called writing a diary. This is something that I practice and I've seen a lot of benefit with it, and I seriously urge you to pick up a little diary and every single day write a few lines in it about how good you've been in that day, how much progress you've made, what wonderful things you're capable of doing, and praise yourself, applaud those little things that you do, and sometimes go back and read the last week's entries, and you're going to be filled with a little more self-belief and self-conviction than you were sometime before you started writing that diary. The second technique that works for me is called the candle technique. Put a candle in front of you and pick up all the worries in your head and literally pour them into the candle. You know, your mind is filled with all these thoughts that just cannot allow you to focus on your work because this noise in your head is disturbing you. So what I suggest is that before you start your work, sit for 10 minutes in front of a candle and just pick up all that noise and put it away and say that somebody in the universe is going to take care of me. I don't need to take care of all my problems. Just put them away and say, I don't need to deal with everything right now. Right now, I just need to study 1 page of 1 chapter. That's about it. Now, every time during the day where you face this feeling of hopelessness, sit again with a candle and put your worries into it and come back and just focus on the now. Don't worry about what will happen about if you don't clear the exam, for instance, or something else that's going to happen to you, and just focus on, can I read that 1 page right now? Problem number 4. I'm feeling lazy. Life is so comfortable that I just don't feel like putting in more effort. I'll give you a little secret. The biggest cause of our laziness is our mobile phone. And I'll tell you one thing that worked for me. Pick up this phone and keep it aside for 3 hours. Put it on silent and keep it away. And you'll be surprised at how productive you get. And do this multiple times in your day. Tell all your friends and family that if I don't pick up the phone, don't worry, I haven't died, I'm studying, and I will get to you whenever I answer the phone. Some other proven techniques to get that laziness out of our system is to hydrate more often, exercise, and the next thing is that when you wake up in the morning, right, the first thing in your mouth should be a fruit because the sugar in the fruit is going to raise your metabolism. And one more trick that I'm going to give you is for you to sit at your study place and focus every single day at the exact same time. Now, I know in the beginning we won't be able to sit down, but even if you can't, force yourself to sit for 20 minutes or 25 minutes on day 1 and slowly every day go and sit at exactly the same time at the same place and try to study. And sooner you'll be able to biohack your brain into believing that that is study time. Just decide this moment that you're going to be excellent at what you do. You know, the biggest enemy of the great is the good. A good job, good grades, good this. Now get out of that mediocrity and aim for excellence. And together with the purpose that you choose greater than yourself will make you a completely new person tomorrow. And problem number 5 is I can't concentrate. You know, there are times when my concentration span is as limited as that of a goldfish. And I sit with this book and I read it 4 times, 5 times, 6 times over, and I just don't seem to be retaining anything that I'm reading. Now, there are a few scientific techniques that have helped me and I wanted to share them with you. Technique number 1 is breaking down the text. Now, if we read this entire chapter like a story and it's not even half as interesting, we are sure to fall asleep on our books. You can look at every single page or block of 500 words and put down 3 possible questions that you think your examiner could ask you from that content. And when you're making your notes, use the QAEE technique. And you want to go back and check up this video on 10 scientific study skills to see what the QAEE technique is. But actively interacting with your content and engaging with it is the only way that will help us to concentrate. The second technique that helps you concentrate is to get creative. One day when you're reading the text, the next day try to make acronyms, flashcards, mind maps, diagrams, go online and look at some more engaging and interactive content and vary the types of different learning that you do for the same piece of content. And the third technique to help us to concentrate better is to study in short breaks. Now, they recommend periods of 25 minutes typically that you should study and take a 10-minute break, but I recommend that you study for a bit longer, 45 or 50 minutes, and then take a 10-minute break. Simply because some of our exams tend to be longer, so we need to build this slightly longer period at which we can sit together. But any which way, after 40 or 45 minutes or 50 minutes, take a short 10-minute break, get up, exercise, hydrate, and come back and study again. And that's all from me, and hopefully I've addressed all your problems and now you're going to be super motivated and I know you're going to rock your exams coming up. So keep watching and also subscribe to the show, press the bell icon, give me a thumbs up if you like the video, and happy watching!